Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning to visit with everybody. Let me first introduce some folks that I brought with me. Hubert and Holly India. Hubert is our Vice President of our Turkey Operation and Prepared Foods for Foster Farms and the past Chairman for National Turkey Federation. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. Hubert got to present the bird to President Obama a year ago, Thanksgiving, and so we'll talk about a little bit more about that later. Joe Hedden is a grow-out manager for our company-owned grow-out farms, and it's been an integral part of our success at Foster Farms and growing our birds and help putting this program together. And my wife Shirley is over here acting as the photographer. But who all here is involved in agriculture? Everybody needs to be raising their hand. because if you ate breakfast this morning, or you put on makeup, or you took some medication, or you put on clothes, you're involved in agriculture. Because agriculture goes into everything we eat, everything we wear, pharmaceuticals, makeups, all that kind of stuff. So everybody in here is involved in agriculture in some way. So be proud of that and promote it every day in every way possible. A little bit about me and my background. I was raised on a farm, primarily beef cattle, hay and row crop. We also raised our own chickens and pork and lambs and everything. We processed everything that we grew ourselves. My grandfather was a sheep farmer. He was involved in the West Texas range wars between the cattlemen and the sheep herders back in the early part of the 1900s. My daughter still lives on my ranch in Texas, and she raises and grows show lambs, selling them to as 4-H and FFA projects, and still very involved in that business as well. She puts on a lot of showmanship clinics and judges shows and all that kind of stuff. So she's very involved in agriculture from very small kids to adult conferences like this as well. A little bit about my education. I wanted to be a beef cow guy. I wanted to major in animal science and be a veterinarian. Everybody that goes to Texas A&M that wants to be in animal science wants to be a veterinarian, but it's very hard to become a veterinarian. It's easier to get into medical school than it is veterinary school. Animal science majors in the late 1970s when I was at Texas A&M were a dime a dozen. I mean, for every graduate, there was 10 of them looking for jobs. I had poultry as some of my 4-H and FFA projects. Had done some poultry judging. I was lucky enough to be a state champion in poultry judging. Got some scholarship offers, looked at it, and poultry science, there was 10 job offerings for every graduate. So I thought my odds were kind of better in that arena than the other way. Also, I love fried chicken. Last week, Hubert and I went to lunch and we had fried chicken after I had my cholesterol checked, and it was good. We went out and celebrated and had some fried chicken. I told him, I said, that's the reason I got into poultry science, because I didn't want the world to ever run out of fried chicken. And all my career, the last 32 years, has been involved in the turkey business. I've been lucky enough to work for two of the largest turkey growers and processors in the country. One of them that you would recognize, Butterball, which was owned by ConAgra at that time, and the other one, Honeysuckle White, which was owned by Cargill. I was lucky enough to come to California and work for Hubert. Thanksgiving week will be ending my 4th year with Foster Farms, and it is a great company. The Foster Farms is still privately owned by the Foster family. They are very, very involved in the family and very committed to its success into the business and to the state of California. They want to be a very sustainable, and that's a word that's being thrown around a lot in the industry, a sustainable business, and we practice that every day. And trying to reduce utilities. Joe was always looking for better ways to cut utility costs, whether it's through CFL lighting, energy efficient motors, recycling litter. All of our litter or bedding that comes out of houses either goes to make organic compost litter that's used on golf courses, lawns, back into organic agriculture, you know, to grow the apples and fruits and vegetables and all those type of things. So we don't waste anything, and we utilize it back on the land to make it even better than it was, to try and get higher production out of land. I think Dan, when he was up here, mentioned the year 2015. Experts are predicting by the year, 2050, that the world population will double. We in agriculture have to figure out how we're going to produce twice as much food as we're producing today with the same land mass. We have to educate our consumers, the public, and most importantly, the regulators and lawmakers, that we have to approach it in a way that not only is good for the environment, good for our consumers, good for the animals that we raise, but also looking out for the people that we have to feed with the responsibility that we have to do to feed them. At that, I'll close and look forward to your questions.